All right. So in the last session, yes, we discussed about the Azure VM and various properties of Azure Virtual Machine, um, and what kind of issues we face, and how do you troubleshoot those issues. And if you really want to understand what you do on day to day, right, the last session would really help you, right? As an admin, you take care of the VM activities, VM operations. That is what we discussed. So today we will talk about the tagging, Azure tagging, how the importance of the tagging and how it is going to help us in the enterprise cloud environment, right? And let us try to understand what are the challenges we face without tagging. Okay, then we will try to see the importance of the tagging. Okay, so I have an Azure portal, and if I go to all resources, okay, there are around 17 resources you can see here, okay, in the one subscription itself. And out of which all these things, how do I know this load balancers belongs to which customer and who is the owner of this load balancer? Let's say this virtual machine, right? So which what kind of environment does this virtual machine is belongs to? Is it which team who own this virtual machine? Okay, in case if this virtual machine is down, okay, it's not working. You see there is a outage at Microsoft, and you realize that okay, this VM is down. This VM is part of the outage. Now, whom do you inform that there is a VM outage? You might expect some downtime. So how do you communicate to the users, right? Who is the owner of it? Now you have 117 resources. How do you categorize the billing? These are like your instances, right? You are the owner of these instances. Like you have to pay to Microsoft. How do you control the billing for these? How do you check the billing? Right? Let's say now you have a customer one, and customer one has a contract with you, and as per his contract, the virtual machines should be on a specific SKU, let's say E series, E2S V5 example, right? So out of all these resources, how do you fetch the specific customer VMs or resources and perform some changes? It will be really difficult for every IT admin, or maybe let's say Azure admin, to identify the owner of these resources and apply the changes that we are supposed to do. So of course, if it is a 117 resources, probably you might have to spend a little bit of time to reach out to the people and get some confirmation. Hey, this is a load balancer I see. This belongs to your team. You might go to the team manager and say, hey, okay, this is a load balancer belongs to our team based on the URL. And you might say, and you can get some confirmation. But just think about the other scenarios. This one, you have many load balancer, many virtual machines, disk, SQL databases, and service bus, virtual machine scale set, whatnot, right? So there could be like thousands of resources. Then how do you identify? Let's say this virtual machine, if I'm taking an example, this is down. How do you know which whom to reach out, whom you are going to inform that saying, okay, this virtual machine is down and you can expect some downtime. So those are the challenges you have currently in Azure cloud environment. Okay, now I want to apply certain policies. Let's say I want to resize these virtual machines. Okay, set of virtual machines belongs to one specific customer. How do I choose and pick up these resources for the specific customer and apply those changes? So that's why tagging is very important, right? So, and how do we, how the tagging is going to help us in the situation, right? So every resource, okay, every resource have a tags option. you will see a tags option. So the tags will have the two things. One is the tag name and tag value. Okay. So let's say the tag name, if I'm looking for a virtual machine, okay, virtual machine 1. So this virtual machine, if it is the production resource, you can create a tag name as environment. Okay, environment. And you can say the tag value is production or prod. So you have a VM02, okay, VM02, another virtual machine. And for this virtual machine, the environment, it could be development. You can say dev, okay. So which means the same tag name can have multiple tag values in your environment, in your subscription, in your cloud environment, right? You can have one tag name with the multiple values. See, the same tag name will have the, let's say, test environment. Okay. Sometimes, some people say QA environment. Okay. So likewise, you can have one for this. And another one, let's say customer as another tag name. Okay. You have multiple customers that they signed up for a contract with you, and as per the contract, you are going to deploy the servers. Within the servers, you are going to deploy the applications. And customer one, let's say customer example, if I take VVH, VVH is a customer, okay, and VVH has you know this is a customer, and it has a multiple virtual machine. Let's say VM1, VM2, and VM3. Okay, each VM will have a name tag called customer, okay, and the value as VVH. Tag name as customer, value as VVH. In future, in case if I wanted to fetch list of customers belongs to VVH customer, list of VMs belongs to VH customer, I can simply write one query. Let's say get VMs where tag dot customer. Okay, that's a tag name, right? Contains or equals to, right? VVH. If I do this, I'll get all the virtual machine belongs to VVH customer. It's not only the virtual machine, the virtual machine might have the disk, network interface card, or anything. So instead of saying get VM, you might say, okay, get resource, okay, get resource, okay, where tag.customer equals to VVH. So when you put right, so all the resources which has the VVH has a tag name, tag value for this tag customer tag. So you will get all the resource belongs to this customer. So the customer tag might also have other values as well. Let's say another companies, let's say TCS, let's say HCL, let's say Wipro, and one of them is VVH. These are the four companies, and the four companies have their resources in Azure environment. And in future, if you want to fetch only VMs or resources specific to VVH, you can write the query like this. If you want to get any specific Wipro related resources, you can just specify as a Wipro instead of VVH. So this is to fetch the resources or identify the resources belongs to a specific customer or belongs to a specific environment. Okay, so the tags are going to help you, right? So now you got this customers list example, right? You identify the resources belongs to a specific customer or specific environment. What will you do with the next? Okay, you can apply certain policies. Okay, let's say policies, let's say Azure policies example. You can apply some Azure policies specific to this customers. Probably, let's say you want to look at the billing for these use this customer. Let's say for VVH resources, what is the billing, right? You can also control that. And what else you can do with the tags? Let's say you want to perform the resize activity, just I mentioned a few minutes ago. You can perform resize activity for all VVH customers. Let's say you want to Cleanups resources, it belongs to VVH customer. Let's say within VVH, again, you have a dev environment, clean up only the dev environment, right? So many other benefits you'll have with the tagging option. Let's say you want to get you know cloud health, right? Cloud environment health specific to a customer, all right? You can build some dashboard. You can build a dashboard, okay? um, on the dashboard you can project all customers and all customer resources and their health status, okay? And also even not only health status, you can also get the performance metrics. You can get customer specific performance. Let's say you go to the dashboard, you select the customer one, okay, and you get customer one have a dev environment, production environment, and test environment. If you select the production environment as an example, right, you want to see performance metrics for the production environment, okay. So you select the production environment from the drop down, okay? And once you select the production environment, you are going to select the application belongs to production. Let's say application one, application two. And within the application one, you might have, let's say, 5 servers, okay? For these 5 servers, you want to monitor what kind of metrics. Let's say you want to monitor the performance metrics with regards to memory or with regards to the CPU, right? So you can get all the insights. It's not only just to, group the resources belongs to same functionality or, same environment or same customer, has the same cost center for the billing purpose. It's not only for that purpose. If you, it is also helpful to monitor the daily health checks. Okay, and another good example, right? We just talked about the performance. Now, you as Azure administrator, you want to check your Azure environment. Let's say you have the backup for your virtual machines. So you have a dashboard where you go to the dashboard and say select the backup job status where it is failed. When you select the failed jobs, you will see list of virtual machines, and you will be able to fetch or identify which customer those virtual machines are belongs to, right? So that you can work with them and check if there is a downtime required to perform some backup troubleshooting and some network troubleshooting if there is anything. And one of the another good example, I would say, you have an outage at Microsoft, right? And because of the outage, multiple virtual machines are impacted. Now we don't know which customer they belongs to. So you get all the virtual machines and try to do a pivot with the customer or an environment based tags. Probably you can also build a dashboard for the same. When you input the VM name, you get all the list where it says customer name, environment, team owner, and who is the application spark, who is the database spark, and who is the project manager, what does the cost. Everything you should be able to get when you just add a virtual machine in the search window. You can build such dashboards with the Azure native service itself, with Azure Monitor. So that's the advantage you have with the Azure tags, right? So let us see how we can utilize some of these in today's session. I will utilize the existing resources what I have. We have around 117 resources. So I'm not sure how many of them are having the tags. So we need to figure it out how we can implement this tagging. So um, I can apply the tags for, all the resource at once, select all the resources, and you can have assigned tags. You can create the new tags or use the existing tags. But I want to give some more examples so that, you will have some idea. So what I will do, I will go to each and every resource group, and for each resource group, I'm going to create certain tags. Okay. If you see here, one resource group and there is another one. That is the another one. So I believe around 3 to 4 resource groups we have it. So we'll go to each and every resource group, or what I will do, I'll export this to a CSV first. Let me export this to CSV and we'll go to the resource group section. Let me go to the resource groups and let me do pivot here. Insert a pivot and I'll go to the resource groups. Okay, these many resource groups we have it, and how many resources we have? Each resource group, these many resources we have. So I'll go with this one which has 7 resources. Going to the resource group, click on this, and I'm going to select all of them. And now I'm going to assign the tags. What kind of tags we are going to assign? Let us document them here, right? So the tag names I'm going to specify as, let's say, customer name. Okay, customer name is a one tag. And environment is another tag. And product is another tag. Products is nothing but your application, what kind of application it is running. And we will also create one more tag, let's say CostCenter. And we'll also say project, what kind of project it is. All right, is it an internal or maybe in a specific migration project, what it is, right? And owner of this servers. And what else we can add? We can also add created date, when it is created, all those things. But let's say these are the mandatory tags. In case if there is a issue happen to that specific resource, I can know, okay, this is a customer, where this instance belongs to, and this instance is dev environment or production, and this is belongs to application one, and this is belongs to a specific cost center, and this belongs to a specific internal project, let's say some migration project, and owner of this project is let's say Kamal or Karthik, or a couple of resources. So in with respect to, we have like how many we have, we'll take this one in our example today, which has more resources, and this one also will have more resources. So we'll take a couple of them here as an example. Okay, customers, let's take an example. VVH is one customer, and another customer, let's say TCS, and let's say Wipro. Some, like, let's say another customer name, will take 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Any names that you can suggest? AGS example, I'm just taking customer names. Let's say BBC is another customer. So this should be fine. Okay, and we'll create the tags now. Okay, I am here and I'm going to say customer name is a tag, and value is VVH. Okay, that's a customer name, and product is the another tag, and let's say this is going to be application one, and another tag what we discussed is environment, right? Environment, and let's say this is going to be a production environment, and what else we have it here? Cost center. Okay, cost center tag. Cost center, let's say give some value, want something like this. So this is to identify cost center project owner, right? Owner. So let's add Karthik as a owner. Okay, Karthik Reddy. And yeah, this should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tags we have it here. 3, 4, 5, 6 project. Okay, project is what we are missing. Which project is it? So let's say this is belongs to some migration project. Okay, so let's save this. So when I save this, all these resources will have these tags. If I go to this one specific resource and go to the tags, I'm able to see all these tags. Okay, and if I go to another resource, I should be able to see the tags. All right, so this is about the one specific resource group. Let's apply the similar ones for the another resource group. Let's say this one. Now I'm going to this. Now here if I go to the tags, this is empty, right? Now what I will do, I will apply for all of these and let's say assign. Now I don't need to type this name because name is already populating. It's going to be populating here, customer name, right? What is the customer name we thinking? So let's say TCS. Okay, and cost center, we can use the different cost center here. Instead of 40, I'm going to say 41. Okay, and environment, let's say this is again a, let's say dev environment. Okay, and who is the owner? Let's say this is time Ishwar. Okay, and let's say product, this is going to be application 2. Okay, and what else we have here? Cost center, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Product is already there. What is missing here? One, two, three, four, five. Cost center, customer name, environment, owner, product, project. So here we give wrong information. No, it's correct only. Project, let's say it's not migration, it's let's say some internal project. Product is already used, tag name. Sometimes it gives the error. Okay, and save this. So this is how it's going to update. Yeah, there is an error. That's fine. We'll just ignore it for now. Okay. Then we will take another resource group. Let's say this has 15 resources. Let's say this one, 23 resources. So going to the resource group, this of you update tags in case if there are any tags missing in the real time. Okay. So the empty tags here, I'm going to select all these 23 resources and let's say assign tags. Now customer name, let's say this is going to be BBC, and cost center, we'll select the different cost center here, and let's say environment. Now let's say this is going to be test environment. Product is, let's say, application 1 only, and owner is going to be, this is belongs to Shahid. I'm going to say Shahid is the owner for this. So what else is missing? We are missing the project. Okay, this is going to be, let's say, data migration project. Okay, so we have all the tags and I'm going to save this. So all 23 will have these tags updated automatically. You see, if I go to the tags, you have it. Now I think let's go with this 3. I think that should be fine. We don't need to go further or beyond, right? Now what else we can do? So we go to all resources and go to add filter, select the filter, tags. In this tags, you say customer name is equals to, let's say, BBC, and apply. So there's nothing here. BBC 22, it should be showing up. Yeah, it's showing up. Sometimes it issue with the browser. Okay, you see these all are belongs to BBC. In case if you want to see them here in the view, you can say edit column and add a column here, and you can specify customer name column, and you can also specify, let's say, cost center column. You can specify environment, who is the owner, product, and project. All right, then you can save this. You can also move them up and down. So I want the types to be at the end. Okay, I'm moving this down. Even resource group, I want it to be very at the end. Okay, then this is fine, and subscription can be at the end. Okay, now let's save this. Now you can see this all belongs to one specific customer, and this has a specific customer tag and environment, and who is the owner for it, and what kind of application is running in each resource, and what kind of project it is. If I remove BBC and refresh here, okay, there are few which doesn't have any, these values, right? We updated only for few resources, so that's why few of them are empty. Okay, so that's why you're seeing there is no value here. Okay, but you see wherever it is available, you can see customer name and the and the environment and owner, all these things. All right, so you can export them to a CSV and start reviewing it. All right, so you can see here all the resources and who is the owner and everything you can see from here. So that's the importance of the tags. So in case if there is an outage occurs, it's easy for you to go to these tags and check who's the owner of it. So I have not added all the tags, required tags. It's important to know what kind of tags your organization is going to follow, and you have to update. The most of the times, what mistakes we do in the enterprises, like there will be a space here. Okay, there is a space, which means this is going to be a new value. You see, it's highlighted. Everything remaining things are not highlighted because they are the existing values. Here I'm making some change, that's why it is highlighted. If I click on apply, and if I go to here and say customer, okay, not here, I'll go to another resource, any other resource, go to the tags, and you see customer name. Okay, so it's not saved actually. If it is saved, you will be able to see here. You'll be able to update here, this one. Let's got these changes. You see there are two customer names. Discard these changes. If I go to this one, you can see, give some value, test or something. We have two customer names here, right? So this is like tags, same tag names are same. Because of some space here, you are seeing these duplicate values. Okay, and eventually this is going to give a very big conflict. And because it's not only just looking at this view, I just took as an example to look at the resources view, but in the enterprise cloud, if you're applying for patching for multiple servers, the patching happens through these tags. So what we do is we create a patching tags. How we create it? Let's say this customer example MBRG, right? It's a VVHS customer, right? VVH customer every month, third Saturday or Sunday, okay, Saturday, and at let's say 11 a.m. EST, the patching has to happen. Okay, so what we do, I don't know what patching team does when they're getting schedules. Okay, so they are going to use this tag value and name. Okay, where customer tag name is, let's say patch schedule is the tag name, patching schedule is the tag name, and value is this one. So in the schedule, they're going to specify the criteria where tag name is equal to patch schedule, and the value is equals to third Saturday 11 a.m. EST. Okay, so during the patching time, what happens is the schedule will fetch all the machines which has this tag name and value. In case if you give space here, Okay, and during the schedule time, those servers which has the space will not be fetched. All right, and another biggest mistake what happens is, which we see in the patching side, for VVH it should be third Saturday. For TCS, let's say fourth Saturday. Okay, fourth Saturday, 11 a.m. EST. So instead of applying this fourth Saturday to TCS, your administrator applied this to VVH customer. So which means on fourth Saturday, without any, with unknowingly, right? So the VMs belongs to VVH customer will be automatically go to the patching, because that is what's configured in the schedule, and wherever the patch schedule contains the value as this one, it's going to be part of the patching automatically. So those machines will be going to the patching schedule and they will be automatically rebooted. So that's going to be like, automatically rebooting the production instance is going to be a big risk, right? So that's why we have to avoid these mistakes. So that's why even Terraform and Aaron templates have come into the picture, they to avoid these manual errors, right? So that's why what they do is at the time of initial deployment, they will automate this process. All right. So the assigning the tag names and values are automated at the time of resource deployment. So so we can avoid these problems, but it happens in many instances. Even in my experience, many people have done this mistake, and it lead to a lot of escalations. When you are working with the tags, make sure you understood the tagging policy. What are the mandatory tags? And if you see any discrepancies with like space, or capital letters, small letters, hyphens, those things, just do let the concerned team know, and concerned person know, and try to correct it. Otherwise, eventually when it grows more and more, you cannot really fix it. It's really difficult to fix it. All right. Of course, updating this tags doesn't require a downtime, but it eventually is gonna impact, put more administrative efforts, and making again mistakes while updating, it's going to be again a problem. Okay, so this is how tags are very, very important. Even if I go back to the Azure portal, I've just shown you one easy way to fetch it. But in case there could be some requirements, let's say I want to get the every month email notification, where the email notifications that belongs to specific customer only, right? So how do I get email notification? So see, if you're an Azure admin, definitely you will get access to Azure portal, right? You will get access to Azure portal, and you'll be able to see what is configured, what is not configured, what is available, right? But just think about the project manager. He's the front facing for the customer, right? Where who is going to discuss about the billing part, cost part, and project future pipelines, all those things. So that's why we should give some visibility, some kind of visibility to the project managers or internal stakeholders. So to do that, there are two things what you can do. Either you send a email alerts on a monthly basis or a bi-weekly to your required stakeholders with the inventory and the status. Let's say you have backup for this customer, how many backups you have for this customer in last 1 month, and what kind of backup is it, like production, what is the retention, if it's a replication, what is the RPO, average RPO for the replication, and if the servers went down in the last 2 weeks or 1 month, what was the downtime duration. You want to put everything into one Excel sheet. Maybe let's say you just want to give the inventory, right? You can use the tags to build some dashboard, or just build a automated email alerts. So with that, you can at least give some visibility to the stakeholders. To create a dashboard, let's say first you need to understand the queries. Even the same queries can be used to build the dashboard, or same can be used to trigger an email alerts as well. If you don't know how to query that, you can use the PowerShell to fetch it, or you can use the resourceGraph Query Explorer, and that is very easy to do it. If you don't know, just click on Open Query. It will take you to the Azure resourceGraph Explorer, and it will give you the query automatically. Just run this query. it will give you all the resources. Okay, you can see the name of the resource, location, and if you scroll down a little bit, you will see the customer name and all the values what you have specified. All right, if you want to know more details, you can just click on here. It will give you the further information. Okay, so this is one method, how you can get started with the learning of this queries based on the tag values, tag names, you can fetch it. So I'm going to show you from the Resource Graph Query Explorer. Go to the Resource Graph Explorer. And if you see in the left side, you see categories, you want to get some information about the compute, and if you want to know about the virtual machines example, um, just click on it. It's giving you the query automatically. Let me run this query. You see here, it's giving all the virtual machines information. In this subscription, I have 12 virtual machines, okay? And it's a basic information that you're seeing, but if you click on see details, it's gonna give you advanced information. So it's the name of the virtual machine and what is the subscription, tenant ID, location, resource group, subscription ID here. Yeah. So and the tags information as well. You can use some filters to fetch the VM's information belongs to a specific customer or a specific environment with a specific owner as well. Okay, and if you go here, you can see more properties of your virtual machine. Let me just do Control C and open a notepad. You can see many properties you're getting. Let's say you want to know the provisioning status of your virtual machine. This is the cache, right? This is what you are going to fetch it from the queries. If you want to know when it was created, when this virtual machine was created, you can see just use this keyword. And if you want to know network information, what is the network interface card and what is the status, you can see them, and profile, storage profile basically will have the operating system information. You want to know what is the operating system, what is the version, exact version you can see here. And if there are any data disks, you will see the data disk information. Let's say data disk 1, data disk 2, and so on. And if it's a OS disk, you can see the OS disk name and how this VM was created. It's created from the image, and delete option is delete. So manage disk, OS disk information. This is the OS disk name, which is attached to this virtual machine, and the OS type is Windows. Okay. And hardware profile, what is a VM size, and a little bit some more information about the OS profile, patching mode, and all these things you can see from here. Okay, and this is related to the information about your virtual machine status. What is the state of your virtual machine? Is it running or stop status, right? So this information and licensing as well, right? So this is like complete VM properties without browsing your virtual machine blade and get the information. You can just build a one simple query with the required properties that you want to have visibility. Let's say you want to have visibility about the operating system, you want to have visibility about the OS disk name and VM size, all these things, right? You just specify like what is the VM status and who is the customer for this virtual machine, right? Customer name, all those things you just put them in a table format here and just run the query. It will give you the output. And the same query can be used in various other methods, let's say logic apps, and put the query in the logic app and run it on a weekly basis or on a bi-weekly basis, and put the email address of your stakeholders. Automatically the logic app will send an email to the your stakeholders. Okay, and you can also use the Azure Monitor to create some dashboards. So first of all, let's take few minutes time to create a simple table here, and we'll try to show you how we can put them in a dashboard. Okay, so if I go back to this C details, right, what I want to know is the tags information, right? So let me see, um, extend customer name as a tag, okay, is equals to tags dot, what is the value I want to fetch? Customer name, right? This one. And similarly, I want to extend basically act like, your variable. Okay, extend environment. All right, I'm going to say environment is equals to tags dot environment, and again extend, let's say product, or let's say cost center. Okay, is equals to tags dot cost center. Then I want to project now, project name, name of the virtual machine, then customer name, who is the customer, and what is the cost center, comma, what is the environment, then what is the resource group. All right, so these kind of things I can put. Even I can also fetch the OS information, VM size. Let's say if I want to get the VM size, I'll go back to the OneNote. This is easy to fetch it. So if I go to the hardware profile, that's a VM size, right? So I'm going to say extend VM size is equals to properties dot, I believe hardware profile. That should give the information. So here, what I want to do is I want to fetch resources belongs to TCS only or BBC. Okay. Now what I can do is I can put a where condition, where customer name, right? Customer name contains VBC, right? If I do this, and here I can put the VM size, okay, and run this query. You can see here the VM size is coming up, VM name is coming, customer name, cost center, environment, all the details you're getting it, right? This is like you're customizing the information that is required for you. Okay. Now what we can do, we can go to the Azure monitor, go to the Azure monitor, go to the workbooks here, click on new workbook. So how I want this, I'm just thinking if there's a possibility to put this. So I want a customer name tag, tab, and application tab. Okay, or let's say, let's not go into that. We'll do it in the next session. So let's try to fetch all the details into the query. I'll show you at a high level. As the recording is going beyond, I think I believe I should stop very soon here, but I will try to show you this. Add a query here. Go to Azure Resource Graph queries here. Select the subscription. Select all subscriptions and paste your query. Okay. So where's the query here? Go to this one and run this query. You're getting this. Okay. And you can say this one, export to Excel sheet, and let's say customer virtual machines, VMs. Okay, you can just do this and you can say this is 10,000 is the limit and done editing. Okay, you can see here. And if you want to add some more properties, you can click on edit this again, or let's say add, let's say parameter, not the parameter, let's say tab. Okay, add a tab here, and this can move up, and let's say tab name. I think we can provide the name, virtual machines. Oh, it's a VMs. I think this is giving, okay, this should be tabs actually. That's why it is giving you confusion. VMs and the value also. This one should be tab name. equal to VMs. You can say storage, and this one again set parameter, let's say tab name is equal to storage. Okay, and if you do this, you see there are two tabs are coming up. And this one, if you want to project, you say make conditional visible, add conditional, where parameter name is tab name is equal to, let's say, VMs. Okay, if you do this, go here, and I'm just removing this BBC stuff here, and run this query, and click on done editing, and done editing. Okay, so it's not showing up here. There's a problem with this query. You are given the VM. What I've given here, conditionally visible option, VMs have given, right? Let us see if that works. Yeah, you can see under the VM section, you have these virtual machines projecting. Under the storage section, it's empty because there is nothing, right? Likewise, you can do it. In case if you want to add some, drop downs, let's say add, here we can say parameter, and add a parameter here, let's say customers. Okay, and put a drop down here. In the drop down, you can say you can still use this resource graph queries, and you can say allow multiples, and this is required one. Okay, select all subscriptions, and here what we do is so what we can do is we'll just remove all these things. Even this one also will remove it. Okay, so let's put this into a string, to string. Now here, let's say summarize by customer name. When you do this, what's happening? It's giving me all the customer names, right? BBC and TCS. So let me copy this one into this and run this. It's giving me the details, and I'm going to say allow all and save this one. Okay, here I can say all of them. I'm done editing. You can see I should be able to pick up the drop down. Now, if I say BBC, in the down, it should select the all BBC related customers. But right now, this is not updated in this below query. So in the below query, what I need to do is I'll click on edit again, go here. I actually forgot this. Let's see if I can, where customer name, okay, customer name is what is the value I've given? Customers, right? Yeah, this is the parameter I can just put here, and let me see if I can run it. No, it's giving some error. Is it correct? Yeah. Okay, it's giving the information. Nice. All right, done editing, done editing. Now if I say, let's say TCS, and TCS related, customers are coming up, right? So, and you can save this dashboard, let's say Azure inventory, okay, based on tags. All right, you can say this is resource group. You can specify any specific resource group and apply it. So it's saying this is not registered. That's okay. It will take some time. Automatically it will be registered. Refresh this. Sometimes you have to do this. Okay. So this is how you can build a dashboard, and your management can start looking at it. So this is like simple sample dashboard, which I'm showing you with the importance of the tags, right? It can be integrated with many other different use cases in the Azure enterprise environment, right? So as in when you start working on it as a L3 or L3 plus, you might start building this and and you might have to learn a little bit more about the queries. As a L2 engineer, I think, understanding this tagging and importance of the tags, and how do you update the tags and the resources, what kind of known issues that you see, and how we are going to fix it, that we just talked today, right? That should be more than enough for you guys. Okay. And if you go back to the Microsoft documentation or Google, there are plenty of documentation um, available for this kind of dashboards or email alerts as well. Okay. Nothing to worry. In the upcoming sessions, I'm going to create a workflow with the email alerts as well using the logic apps. And I will also try to show you uh, with the very good beautiful view with the customers and their survey applications and products with the different tabs here, which is linked to the backup resources, replication resources. Like, you just come here, click on customer. In the bottom, we'll have multiple tabs or tables like this. It will show all the resources belongs to this customer, and which means eventually the end user or project manager who is belongs to this customer, right, who's responsible for this customer, should be able to see the entire cloud environment, whether the customer environment is healthy or not. So he don't need to come to cloud operations team and say, hey, what is the last backup for this virtual machine, this specific customer virtual machine? When was the, last time the issue server went down? So all those things, they shouldn't come to you. Everything they can see from here itself. So that's the beauty of Azure Monitor and workbooks. It's not only for this, it has many other use cases. As in when we move forward to the next sessions, you'll be able to understand this very well. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for your time today. If you have any questions, you can let me know.